In the 1950s, Dassault Aviation developed a successful family of fighter aircraft called Mirage. In the 60s, the company took it to the next level and introduced the Mirage F1, a fighter and attack aircraft with a swept wing design. It became an instant success in the global market, resulting in the production of over 700 fighters. Despite becoming the preferred aircraft of the French Air Force, it also became the workhorse of Spain, Greece, South Africa, Iraq, Libya, and even Ecuador. The Dassault Corporation designed the export Mirage F1 E, which could fulfill all the missions of the F1C, but was equipped with avionics for more precise air-to-ground missions and longer firing distances. The excellent performance and capabilities of the F1 were proven during its combat career, participating in French operations in Chad and Mali, the 1990 Gulf War, Afghanistan, the Paquisha War between Ecuador and Peru, and even the Iran-Iraq War, alongside other world conflicts. The Mirage family. In the early 1950s, French aircraft manufacturer Dassault Aviation commenced the development of a family of single-engine fighter aircraft named Mirage. In 1952, the Mirage 1 became the first design of the family. It was a small aircraft that paved the way for a larger and more powerful design, the Mirage 2, presented in 1954, during the last days of the French military presence in Vietnam before its defeat at Dien Bien Phu. 2 years later, Dassault Aviation introduced the final design of the family, the turbojet Mirage 3, which became the first European combat aircraft to exceed Mach 2 in horizontal flight in October 1958. The first batch of Mirage 3 fighters was delivered to the French Air Force in 1961 under Mirage 3C. The fighter became popular in Europe and was acquired by several air forces in multiple variants. With the success of the Mirage 3 on its shoulders, Dassault Company decided to improve the formula and gave way to more unique developments. One was the Mirage F2 prototype, a larger swept-wing derivative of the Mirage 3. Another of the company's private ventures was the Mirage 3V, a VTOL or vertical takeoff and landing testbed, which, alongside a smaller interceptor fighter, the Mirage F3, attracted the attention of the French Air Force. Although the designs were later ditched, Dassault focused on a revamped F3 aircraft variant, alongside a small Mach 2 capable aircraft dubbed Mirage F1. It was the beginning of a new member of the Mirage family. A new member. The Mirage F1 was meant to be the successor of the Mirage 3 and Mirage V aircraft. The French Air Force awarded a contract to Dassault to develop it as an all-weather interceptor that could replace the Mirage 3C fleet. The specifications called for an aircraft with supersonic capabilities, short rudimentary equipped landing strips, and an approach of less than 260 kilometers per hour. Additional requirements were longer autonomy and shorter takeoff and landing distances at a low cost. Dassault conducted extensive research on minimum combat aircraft speeds and decided to employ a swept-wing design for the Mirage F1. The aircraft design shared similarities with the F2, F3, and Mirage 5, such as the wing layout and tail section. It was also powered by a Snecma Atar 9K31 jet engine that was expected to allow the F1 to reach speeds of Mach 2. The F1 prototype made its first flight on December 23, 1966, at Melun-Villa-Roche, with test pilot René Bigon at the controls. On January 7, 1967, he reached Mach 2 on the fourth flight. Despite having a shorter wingspan, the F1 was superior to its predecessors, carrying more fuel, taking off faster, and maneuvering more easily. Bigon continued testing the prototype until he lost his life during a low-altitude, high-velocity pass. The horizontal stabilizers broke away, and the aircraft struck the ground near Fos-sur-Mer. Despite the tragic accident, the French Air Force allowed the pre-production of 3 aircraft fitted with the more powerful 9K50 jet engine. Testing and weapons. The 3 aircraft were delivered between 1969 and 1970. Evaluation flights lasted until 1971, before the Mirage F1 was approved for production. The first batch of 85 aircraft was approved in 1973, with the first one taking to the skies in December. The only major difference between the prototypes and the production models was installing a slotted leading edge on the outboard 2/3 of the wing, which maximized the angle of attack. Employing a swept wing resulted in a 50% reduction in runway length and a 40% increase in combat range. Internally, the F1's avionics were also highly advanced. The Thompson CSF Cyrano 4 monopulse radar system operated in 3 modes: ground mapping, terrain avoidance, and air target acquisition. The main armament comprised a pair of internal 30mm cannons and a single Matra R-530 medium-range air-to-air missile under the fuselage. Secondary armament comprised a combined payload of over 6,350 kilograms worth of bombs. The Snecma Atar 9K50 engine allowed the F-1 to reach speeds that exceeded Mach 2, with a maximum height of over 18,500 meters. The Mirage weighed over 7,400 kilograms empty, spanning 8.4 meters and a length of 15 meters. Once out of the assembly plants, with all these improvements, they were ready to be battle-tested. Combat operations. The first combat deployment of the Mirage was in 1984 as part of Operation Manta, the French military intervention in Chad to counter the Libyan presence in the region. 4 Mirages were dispatched to provide air cover to friendly Jaguar aircraft. They also conducted strikes against pro-Libyan rebels in Chad. 2 years later, they were again deployed to raid more Libyan bases and provide air cover to friendly aircraft. The Mirage F1 was also used in the Persian Gulf during the First Gulf War of 1990, following Iraq's invasion of Kuwait, with 12 Mirage F1Cs dispatched to Qatar and 4 Mirage F1s deployed to Saudi Arabia. During the first days of Allied operations, the French F1s were grounded to avoid being mistaken for hostile Iraqi Mirage F1s. After the conflict, the F1CRs were deployed to Turkey in September as part of Operation Provide Comfort to protect Kurds from Iraqi aggression. In 2011, Mirage F1CRs were deployed to Solenzara Air Base, Corsica, to conduct reconnaissance missions over Libya as part of Operation Harmattan. In 2013, F1CRs participated in Operation Serval in Mali, providing valuable photo information for strike aircraft. To replace the aging F1CRs of ER-233, Rafales were outfitted with an advanced reconnaissance pod. The French Air Force's last Mirage F1 fighters were retired from operational service on June 13, 2014. The last units in service were transferred to storage. F1 variants. The Mirage F1 fighters also saw combat in Afghanistan and Mali. During the late 1970s, Spain also employed its fleet of F1s with the rising tensions between Morocco and Algeria. Morocco also readied its F1 interceptors and used them against the Polisario Front in Western Sahara between 1979 and 1982. Another African country that procured French Mirages was Libya. The fleet saw action during the 2011 Libyan civil war that resulted in the ousting of Gaddafi. South Africa also replaced its Mirage 3s with F1s in its Cold War evolution. They were employed in operations in the border war, downing Angolan MiG-21s and Mi-8 helicopters. Curiously enough, the only American country to ever purchase F1s was Ecuador. Argentina tried to purchase them, but the deal was blocked by the United Kingdom regarding the tensions with the Falklands. Ecuadorian Mirages were briefly used in the Paquisha War against Peru and the 1995 Cenepa War. Production of the Mirage F1 officially ceased in 1992, with over 700 produced and sold to European militaries and other nations worldwide. Several variants of the Mirage F1 were produced during its career. The F1C was the basic version, optimized for all-weather, all-altitude air defense. Mirage F1CR and F1CT were introduced to replace the Mirage 3s. The F1A was the day version of the F1C, with simplified electronic equipment and increased fuel capacity. It was highly requested by the South African Air Force in the late 1970s. A 2-seat version, dubbed F1B, was also developed at the request of Kuwait and the French Air Force. Modernizing the F1. In November 2018, Paramount Aerospace Systems, a subsidiary of Paramount Group, acquired the entire South African Air Force Mirage F1AZ fleet and began offering low-cost supersonic fighter capability, including pilot training, maintenance, and technical operations support for various African air forces. Brian Grayling, CEO of Paramount Aerospace Systems, stated, quote, "One of the most important trends in today's military aviation market is the increasing utilization of legacy aircraft for adversary training by air forces. The new acquisition of the Mirage F1 aircraft will inject additional Top Gun capability into Paramount Group's advanced pilot training programs." Grayling said Paramount is the only privately owned aerospace company in the world capable of offering military-type aircraft training from theory to supersonic fighter capability. Ivor Ichikovitz, group chairman of Paramount, told David Oliver from Times Aerospace, quote, "The global economic slowdown has reduced the defense budgets of most countries in the world, resulting in cuts across many defense sectors, including aircraft. Such budgetary constraints are driving the decrease in the procurement of new military aircraft and place a huge emphasis on more affordable solutions, such as maintenance, repair, and modernization of existing equipment and the associated training requirements." Draken International, a US-based provider of adversary air services, also signed an agreement with Paramount to overhaul and support its recently acquired fleet of Mirage F1M aircraft from the Spanish Air Force, increasing its fleet size to more than 150 fighter aircraft. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe to our Dark Skies channel to find more videos about French aircraft from the Cold War. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of our newest videos.